It is about the Ukraine crisis, which was started in 2014 by Obama, who has organized a coup in Ukraine, sending Victoria Nuland to distribute $5 billion to the criminals of Ukraine to organize a violent coup against the elected government of Yanukovych, who was ousted in that coup, and then the Nazi of Ukraine came from Canada to kill the ethnic Russians in Ukraine, and that has caused the long drawn conflict since then. In the beginning, Russia only gave moral support to the Donbas Russians, ethnic Russians, who are living there for centuries. And then Russia also take over the Crimea, which was 100% ethnic Russian, and naval base of the Russian fleet in the Black Sea, which is naturally Ukraine, Crimea would have gone to Russia, but it was transferred by Khrushchev in 1954. Before that, Crimea was in Russia. Donbas was transferred by Lenin in 1920. Before that, it was a part of Russia, and that is the reason it was packed up with ethnic Russians. And what Obama did is the criminal things that he allowed the Nazis of Ukraine, and along with the Canadian Nazis who got sanctuary from British in 1946, as, who has worked with the Hitler's army against the Russians and Soviet Union, and created a criminal gang called Utsasi in Ukraine to kill the ethnic Russians and everyone who was pro-Soviet, pro-socialist. And those Nazis of Canada and Nazis of Ukraine grouped together, united together now to kill the ethnic Russians and kill anyone who support the socialist government or the USSR or the Russia today. And in 2022, Russia invaded or Russia took action against Ukraine to get rid of the Nazis from Donbas area, which is the major mineral producing areas of the Ukraine. And the conflict started before that. Even in 2021, Russia invaded Kiev airport because Ukraine imported massive amount of enriched uranium from Pakistan via Britain to create nuclear weapons in Ukraine to be used against Russia. But they could not do it because the Russian got news of that and took action immediately. But then Russia left Kiev airport and concentrated in the Donbas area. And that conflict is going on still, and there is no sign of any stoppage of that conflict. Although Putin has tried a lot of time to make a compromise solution, but the Ukrainian would not accept, because Ukraine is now ruled by a Nazi Jew called Zelensky, who organized this ethnic conflict in Ukraine and killed many people of Russian ethnic origin, and want to continue the war against Russia. That is the conflict, the real analysis of the conflict, and in which now the Britain and the France are adding fuel. So the conflict would not end until United States would stop Britain and France to add the fuel to the flame in Ukraine. And if when United States would stop all assistance to Ukraine, it will stop. The war will stop. But that is not happening. Trump is going to support Ukraine with giving F-16 aircraft, which would intensify the war. So that is the negative action by Trump today. I stop here.